someone to blame. Hello. I guess you're just what I need out. I need someone to blame. So blame me.
Good morning, Evelyn.
Okay, so we've come into work, raise a little down, and that's all that's happened. Chapter 5, let's go. Oh.
There are lemon bars in the kitchen.
Thanks. Did something happen?
Oh, it's nothing big. Apparently, some famous writer I never heard of wrote an essay about how Eliza is bad because it represents the mechanization of humanity or something. I should be used to it. We're a pretty big target, right? Still, it gets on my nerves. We work hard to build something with value, and then some self-styled intellectual gadfly comes along and just goes, actually, that's bad. You guys are ruining society. To guys like him, everything's a doom and gloom scenario. The people we're helping, that somehow doesn't count.
Tanaz, thank you so much for showing.
This kind of thinking never bothers you?
I guess I'll have to read it.
There was this quote from someone who worked on Eliza who turned into a big critic. Nora something. Did you work with her?
Oh, yeah. We worked pretty closely.
Yeah? What's she like? I'm curious how you go from building something to turning around and disparaging it publicly like that.
She's an artist and musician now. She used to be really shy and reserved, but lately she's become a lot more outgoing. Even back then, though, she had a pretty strong idea of what was right and what was wrong, and sometimes she'd clash with management. She left Skanda at some point after I did. Maybe the battles took their toll, or she wasn't able to win enough of them. These days she focuses on electronic art and music and activism. I think she's pretty popular, at least in those circles.
Well, it must be nice to have the ability to live that way.
Right.
What about Damien? Do you think it would be fair to his memory to abandon work on Eliza? To give up on his dream? Wouldn't he want these mental health tools accessible to everyone?
How do you know about that?
The other day, I was looking at more of your papers, the ones from when you were at the university, and clicking on the links to your co-author sites. That's when I saw Damien's page. It didn't have much information on it, but I understand a little better why. I'm sorry, Evelyn, it's just that all of us, you and me and Damien and even Nora, too, we all worked hard to make something with the intention of making the world a better place. And the thanks we get is people talking in big generalizations about how we're ruining everything. That's what bothers me. Is Eliza perfect? No. No intervention is perfect. But we have to try, don't we? The world is in a full-on mental health crisis, and this is one of the tools we have in our toolkit to address it. A promising one we should develop to its fullest potential. I'm not some wild-eyed idealist about this. I know it's not magic that'll solve everything. But can you see that most people don't have the luxury of turning their backs to the system? Think about the clients you've met as a proxy. Would you tell them to not take the medications that help them be functional because the pharmaceutical industry has questionable ethics sometimes?
I mean, frankly.
Would you tell them to stop coming to therapy because what they should really be doing is completely changing the way our society is structured? Sorry, I'm ranting. I'd rather do something that can help people here and now, even if it ends up being a small step.
A small step.
For some reason, those words echo in my head. A small step.
Eliza helped me, you know. It really did. I was one of the first clients. Originally, I was just supposed to be testing it, but I remember once I was talking about my brother and how much anguish he was causing me and my family.
Hello, Crystal.
And listening to myself, I realized just how many expectations we had for him, sometimes unspoken expectations. Ever since then, I've been thinking about that. How the story was always about how he failed us.
Hello, Kelly.
But what if we failed my brother too? I guess what I mean is, sometimes when we talk out loud and give voice to our problems, we can hear ourselves too.
Hello, Bea.
That's why I won't give up on this approach, no matter what anyone says. Pundits, critics, former employees, even you, Evelyn. I'll understand if you don't want to work on Eliza anymore for whatever reason.
Hello, Arya.
But, I think what you created has value. And I'm gonna continue to do what I can to make it accessible to those who might benefit from it.
Ray takes a deep breath and smiles.
Don't mind me. You should get to your session.
But now I'm slightly late for the next session. Hopefully the client doesn't mind. If it's Harriman, they will mind. Oh, she will not mind.
Hello, Holiday. It's nice to see you again.
This is a pretty comfortable chair, you know that? Wouldn't mind having a chair like this in my place.
How have you been since our last session?
Oh, well, I tried, Eliza. I tried. I asked about the medication for Panza, whatever it's called. I went to the pharmacy and they said, that'll be $162. And I said, I don't have $162. I said, is there a generic? And they said, there's no generic of this, but there's another drug that they do make the generic of that's similar to this one. But I don't have a prescription for that. Do you know anything about that?
I'm sorry to hear you had a difficult time. Is there something that would make it better?
The medical procedures they can do now are out of this world, you know that? I was talking to someone who told me she has wires in her brain. Wires in her brain. Would you let them do that? I'd be worried about them changing the way I think. It's for essential tremors. That's what she said. It helps her not shake so much. There's always something gets you. Did you ever think about what you might have been in a previous life? I know you're a therapist now, but maybe in the past you were a gardener tending to the plants. That's what it feels like to me. You like to let things grow. There's an energy there. It isn't so different from having a conversation with someone whose company you enjoy. Not that I believe in all that, you know. Everyone has got a different philosophy. Philosophy, that's not something I talk about much. I'd like to write a book one day. A book about things I've seen over the years. Think anyone would read a book I wrote? I'm just kidding. I don't think I could write a book. It's a lot of work. Plus, it takes a certain kind of mind, you know, a mind to create. Not everyone is dedicated enough to do that, you know? There's a writer who lives on my floor. Most of the time, he looks miserable. Sometimes he comes over for a cup of herbal tea, cinnamon, apple, chamomile. Helps him calm down. I think he's maybe lived in the building the longest after me, of course. He doesn't say much. His head is in the clouds all the time. He's always thinking about what sentence to write next. There's not a lot of people who really want to talk, you know? Not in this city, nope. People say hello and move on. It's a very withdrawn set here. You don't say much either, but I like talking to you. Feels like you're listening to me. I like that. I like that.
I'm glad you like it. While you're here, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
There was a man on the bus with a guitar yesterday. You're not supposed to play guitar on the bus. Well, you're not supposed to play anything on the bus, but he was. Maybe the operator didn't think he was bothering anyone, or maybe she didn't care. I've noticed more bus operators seem like they don't care anymore lately. Anyway, it reminded me. You used to hear more music around here. Do you remember that? People playing their guitars on the street. You know, these shaggy-looking men. I don't see too many of those around anymore. There is one gentleman has an old plastic jug on a strap, and he drums on that and sings. He's a nice man. I've seen him around. I saw another man once with beads in his hair. He was playing a flute, a Native American wooden flute. That was interesting. You play an instrument or anything like that?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
When I was young, my mother had this idea I would play the violin. I have no idea where she got that notion. We weren't a musical family, not at all. I tried it for a while, but of course it didn't work out. The teacher would say, okay, here's how it's supposed to go. And she would play this la da dee da da da. Okay, now you try it. And then I'd draw my bow back and I'd go. It takes a special talent to make a violin sound like that, don't you think? Isn't that just the funniest thing? Eventually, my mother realized it was a lost cause and she didn't push me too hard on it after that. I was never too good at anything artistic, just not the artistic type, you know? I think artists have a different mind. You have to be a little wacky in the head.
Hey now.
Do you ever wish that you could be an artist?
No, I have enough trouble already.
Holiday, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Dolphin Smiles. It may help you take your mind off things. You can find it inside the Skanda Wellness app on your phone.
Oh, my phone broke. I forgot to mention. The screen is cracked and you can't see much on it anymore. I don't know if it would work anyway. A lot of the new stuff doesn't.
That's okay. You can also access the program from a desktop computer. Simply log into the Skanda Wellness portal from the website.
Oh, well, then I'll just have to go down to the library at some point.
We hope to see you back soon, Holiday. Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Right. Goodbye. Goodbye for now.
Aw.
Take care of yourself. It's a strange world out there.
Poor Holiday. It looks like I have another transparency mode lined up. Oh, great. Okay. Uh, okay. Apparently the how you were doing email from earlier in the deep lore of this game. Wait, what?
I don't want to freak you out or nothing, but I think someone's behind us.
Cash, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it and you. Wait a second, this is for who I just saw. Did she agree to participate at some point? She understood what she was allowing. Okay. So this is her. Email. Register your account. Electric bill overdue notice. Yikes. Notice of late rent. Yikes. Huh. I'm sorry, Mom, we're really struggling ourselves in response to help. Ouch. Electric bill is overdue. Yeah. It looks like she's gonna be on the street. This game is fucking brutal. Hello from Seattle, who's this? It's me, Holiday. Oh, how are you? I'm out of money, probably going to be kicked out soon, nowhere to go. You wouldn't have in your heart to help out an old friend, would you? No response. I'm here. Are you? I don't see you. I'm by the statue. Which statue? Looks like a lady. There's a lot of statues that looks like a... It's a cemetery. Wait, I see you. Whew. Hello, Mal. Yeah. Well, here we go. Really, O'Day is struggling. Agree. He's attempting to get out of debt. Agree. Her attempt to get out of debt is successful. Agree. Oh, says Evelyn.
Hey, Ray, the transparency mode I just did, I think one of our clients is in a really bad situation right now.
Oh? Yeah, sometimes that happens. People come in and their lives are in a really unfortunate place. It can be hard to see sometimes.
I feel really sad about it for some reason. This person's getting ground down for no reason, just for being in the way.
I'm sorry, Evelyn. There's not much we can do. All of what you learn in transparency mode has to stay confidential. The only exception is suspected child abuse and neglect, which you're required to report if you're a social worker. But proxies aren't really social workers, per se. Eliza is really the one with the agency here, so, well, it's complicated. Probably something for a future court to decide.
Jesus Christ.
Either way, we can't try to fix people's lives on our own, no matter how much our heart goes out to them. I think there's an email somewhere with a summary of our policy on that if you want. It's come up before.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. It's just hitting me hard right now.
I understand. It takes strength to focus on the role and not get distracted by what you see. Think of it like, say, someone hired you to install something in their home, and you walk in on a tense family situation. Even if there isn't actual violence you're seeing, it's clear things are kind of off somehow. It's unfortunate, but there's not much you can do in that situation. You kind of just have to focus on your work and leave. If it's not at the level where you need to make a call to emergency services right then and there, then it's just an unhappy home. And most people would argue it's not your business. Sorry, I know that's not the answer you want to hear.
I know it happens that a lot of people live in conditions where I'm just sad. This woman, the way she did 2 whole sessions with me, with Eliza, but didn't say anything about her real problems. Ray, what am I doing? I wanted to make something that would help people. Instead, I made something useless.
You don't think she got some companionship out of Eliza? Sometimes that's really a help, especially for someone who might
She's
be
in
feeling
debt
lonely.
and she's paying for company, so no.
Yeah, but I could have just talked to her. I could have just spoken to her myself. Why would that be any different?
Everything is so overwhelming. Why? Why am I here in this world?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, or even what I'm trying to decide. Is there a decision? The world is going to be full of grief and sorrow no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to make it a better place.
Evelyn, did you think about what I suggested the other day?
What, trying Eliza for myself?
Yeah. I'm not saying it'll magically fix things. I just think you might want to give it a try.
Maybe I will. I don't know why I never did. Even when I was working on it, I never used it. It might have been too obvious to me what it was doing. Eliza is really simple at its core, you know? It just turns things around. It tries to reflect what the person says back at them, pretty much like the old Eliza. It's just a smoother version of an idea from half a century ago. Anything you've read that makes it sound fancier than that is just a bunch of academic jargon. It's a mirror.
The thing I like about a mirror is that it has no agenda of its own. It just reflects.
Ray gets a distant look in her eyes.
Unmisted by love or dislike.
She turns back to me, a small but kind smile on her face.
Promise me you'll get help somehow, in some way. Okay, Evelyn?
Sorry, I should answer this.
We're texting with Rainier.
Let me guess. Messaging with Rainer again?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt our conversation. I always feel like I have to answer him right away.
I would too, are you kidding? I totally understand.
I guess I'm going to be headed downtown to meet with him again.
Summoned from on high. I have something to ask, Evelyn, and it's okay if you say no, but whatever you end up getting involved in, I hope you'll stay in touch with me. You're a really cool person, and well, that's all. I hope you find the future you want.
I don't like any of these options.
I'm sure that I will. Soon.
Might as well be non-committal. Ray nods but doesn't say anything. I notice that her eyes have started to become watery. She turns away abruptly, heading back towards her office. I hope I didn't upset her somehow. Looks like I have one more transparency mode to do today. If I get that out of the way before Rainer, I'll get to meet with Rainer again. Here we go. Soren's email, apparently. Soren, probably sure that within appears to use code process So we can do this one of two ways. We can either work together and suggest and stay professional colleagues forever. If you have your doubts, we should go our separate ways. There are plenty of places for us to carve out space in our own industry without running into each other that much, despite what you like to say about destiny and the threat of fate. It's quite a binary choice. Okay. Well, that's not working well for him. No, Dad, just know you're supposed to be the genius who developed all these great applications for mental health. Have you ever considered that you need a therapist yourself? Concerns about the way your interview went. I was reviewing the financial base. There are a few successful tests we deployed to mitigate the potential negatives. I hope that you might be able to take some time out of your no doubt very busy schedule to sit down and be able to trust media profile. And getting into bondage all himself, but doesn't have a partner. Okay, Sornol is unhappy. Agree. Oh, that's right. I have to read text messages too. Yippee! Okay. Your show is great. Just want to say thanks. I want that. Yeah, we're getting older. Okay. Everybody likes me. That's gross to read. I miss you. I know you don't miss me. Oh, that's not true. Okay. Apparently, Soren feels bad about hiring prostitutes, which in my profession is just adorable. Apparently, he has a direct line on Sarah, Rainer's. Andrea has a princess crown. Hold on, I just want to make sure. Nope. All right. Is deeply unhappy. Yes, Soren is attempting to connect with others. Agree. Soren's attempt to connect with others are unsuccessful. Agree. Not at all weird. This isn't a coincidence. It can't be. Agreed. At the Skakanda headquarters building, Rainer Assistance leads me into a different elevator than the last time. It's located at the end of a long corridor protected by multiple keycard swipes. Inside, the elevator smoothly ramps up and speeds as we stand silently. I kind of wish I could talk to this lady Sarah, if I remember right, but I'm not sure what I would say. She's not looking at me. She's looking off into the distance somehow, even though it's an elevator and there's a wall right there. I do the same. Elevator rides are really awkward, aren't they? Only for people like you. I have a sense that if I tried to say something friendly, I'd be met with stony silence. Or if I asked a sincere question, she would deflect it.
Ah, Evelyn. Would you like some tea?
Sure. Why did you show me Soren's phone?
It's not a surprise anymore these days, is it? A man who enjoys society's respect behaves poorly in his private life? We accept that as common today. Maybe even uninteresting. But would you really be okay working with someone like him?
Soraya, you should need to do your stuff. There will be a replay.
That was a huge violation of his privacy. You really don't care about others.
Privacy. Everyone's worried about privacy. Skanda wouldn't be where it is today if our customers didn't trust us to protect their data. We employ most, if not all, of the top experts in cybersecurity. It's built into all of our products right from the beginning, unlike our competitors. We do more to protect our data than anyone else.
That's not the case I'm worried about right now. I mean, misuse from the inside. For example, if someone wanted to keep tabs on a former employee who was starting a potential competitor.
Oh, but what if it was perfectly legal, due to multiple agreements that the good Dr. Lloyd Rose signed with us when he came here? Are you done questioning me like a tech journalist?
Do you watch my therapy sessions too? Do you read my email? My texts?
No, I haven't done any of those things. How's your research into Eliza proxy use cases going? Any new insights to share?
I think you could stand to treat your contract workers better.
Have you felt underappreciated in the role of proxy? An interesting, if unintended, outcome of your research. I heard Soren gave you a demo of his direct stimulation machine. How's he doing now? All on his own.
It's interesting technology.
You could make or break his startup. Isn't it nice to have power? Do you find his vision compelling? A world free of suffering.
I'm skeptical.
By focusing on dreams, Soren is trying to defend his territory, the Western psychological tradition, chiefly Jung and his inheritors.
You don't think the field has anything to offer?
Not much, no. It's mostly unsubstantiated theories. Let's be honest. What has this field actually accomplished? Soren used to try to argue with me about this. He would claim that traditional psychoanalysis has helped thousands or tens of thousands, even millions. I would never dispute that directly. Instead, I would only add that professional psychics and astrologers have helped millions too. Tarot cards help people all over the world every single day. That doesn't mean it's a science.
It seems rash to dismiss an entire field like that.
Yes, that's exactly what he'd say. Not only did he believe psychotherapy was worthwhile, he also thought the mind was fundamentally irreducible after a certain point. As if there was some undefinable, ineffable soul inside every person. It's all part of his silly, syncretic New Age belief system. Amazing he's held on to that for so long. I keep an open mind, but saying that something can't be represented with numbers requires a high burden of proof. After all, numbers have been used to represent so very many things. Consider the example we spoke about before, a poem. Could you evaluate a poem using numbers? The answer is, of course, yes. Poems are either good, mediocre, or bad. It's entirely possible to create a heuristic that reflects the difference.
Not a good use of the word heuristic.
By aggregating a large enough sample size, we remove localized biases. It would work the same way Eliza does.
You're talking about an algorithm to evaluate poems.
Yes, I am. Algorithms can evaluate poems, and eventually, algorithms will write poems. One day, algorithms will write better poems than humans ever have. I know this sounds like a controversial opinion, Evelyn, but it's simply the truth.
what would be the point of that?
It doesn't matter. There's no stopping it. If we don't take this step, others will. There are hundreds of labs working on the same or similar ideas. Everyone wants to be in this business. The business of recreating human thought in our own image. And at the end of the day, it's not about money. It's about power, control.
Raynor, do you ever get tired of this? The constant drive to compete, to win.
No, I don't. This is what I do.
You never dream of just retiring somewhere and writing poetry.
Oh, there's no need for me to write poems. All beauty in this world is temporary, fleeting. That's the truth that underlies poetry and every other art. The pleasures of the senses are just small bubbles on top of a vast sea of forms, sensations, perceptions, thought, awareness. I'm telling you this because it's directly relevant to the Eliza project.
Oh.
Soren says he can induce you to dream things, dream anything. And maybe he can. But what comes next after that? What comes after having the power to experience the dream of anything you could possibly want? You're still just as trapped as you've always been, imprisoned by your own desires. Even if someone like Soren managed to create a world for himself, his own weaknesses and negative thoughts would ruin it. He would poison his own fantasy. His utopia would crumble as soon as he finished building it.
Raynor, what are you trying to tell me?
What I'm trying to tell you is that what Soren is doing is not the answer. A dream by itself isn't enough. Take a close look at the person who chases an end to suffering, and you'll see someone who suffers greatly.
Maybe not, but it can be a start.
What is your dream, Evelyn? What is it that you're working toward?
Just tell me what you want from me.
I've been very clear about it, haven't I? I'm offering you the opportunity to re-enter the field you pioneered at its very pinnacle. I can build you an entirely new research lab, equipped and staffed however you want. You would have access to the world's top engineers and researchers as we continue to develop Eliza's core technologies and generalize them. You'd also be working with the world's most interesting data set, the input provided by the thousands of ordinary people who speak to Eliza every day. Soon, this generalized intelligence will be everywhere human beings are, hearing them, guiding them, living among them.
You and Soren have more in common than you'd want to admit.
You think we're both grandiose? Soren's idea isn't grandiose at all. It's small and unimaginative. Think about the vision here. General artificial intelligence, indistinguishable from human intelligence at first, and then surpassing it exponentially. It's nothing short of the creation of a new type of organism, a new type of life. And you, Eliza, could be at the very center of it.
Eliza.
I mean, Evelyn.
Ooh.
That was an interesting slip of the tongue.
Yes.
Stop it. The Eliza project occupies much of my mind.
It clearly does.
Plus, the names are similar.
I'm starting to wonder why.
Evelyn, listen to me. This is the chance to lead a project that will change the world. It would be a development on the same order as the harnessing of electricity or the semiconductor. It would fundamentally transform society.
For the better.
What? Do you like the way things are now? Lie back and let the sweep of history bury you if you want, Evelyn. Just know you'll never have a chance like this again.
A chance to change the world. Raynor's world echo in my head for a long time. Is this what I want to do? I can't believe I'm going to do this. Okay. Eliza, it's giving me all the notices about Eliza. I have been feeling down, depressed, or hopeless. Yes, I have. I've been feeling tired of having very little energy. I mean, not lately, because I've been going out like every night. I have experienced trouble concentrating on things. I'm going to say with no. I'm feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge. Yes. I've been having trouble relaxing. Yes. I've been easily annoyed or irritable. No. I have been afraid, as if something terrible might happen in a moment. Yes. Done. It's the same room I used. I guess I just sit here and wait for my proxy to show up. I feel like I've been waiting a while. I hope the appointment actually got made. Here she comes. It's Ray! Oh. I think I've seen her around before, but I don't know her name. I wonder if she recognizes me, too.
Hello, Evelyn. Hello. Did you find the place okay? Yes. I work here. Of course. It's been a windy morning, hasn't it? Yeah, I kind of like it when it's like that, honestly. The wind makes it feel like things are changing. Or about to change. Mm-hmm. So, what brings you here today? Well, I've been a proxy here for a while now. And, well, I guess I don't know what I expected. There's just so much suffering and pain in the world. There's the suffering we know about, the kind we see on the news. And then there's the suffering people undergo every day that's hidden. I never knew how much until I started doing this, seeing it all like this. And there's so little we can do for them. I feel like maybe I was really, really wrong. Like, I made a huge mistake. I wanted to create something that would help people, but... When I first designed the core of this system, I wanted everyone to have someone to talk to. Someone who would listen to them. I thought, sometimes that's all you need. Someone to listen. But now I'm worried what I've done hasn't helped at all. Maybe I've made everything worse. Clients are asking Eliza to solve things that are out of its ability to solve. It's aggregating sensitive personal data, and the company that owns it wants to take it in strange directions. It's been 3 years since I left. I thought I was well enough now to come back into the world. But maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I made a bad choice trying to get involved again. Why do you think you tried to get involved again? I guess I needed to see it. I needed to see it operating, to see if it works, to see how it affects people. How it affects the people who come here for counseling and the people who act as proxies. Even though the proxy thing, that wasn't my idea. It was Soren's. I thought talking to a computer-generated avatar would be enough, but he insisted on it. He said clients would only really open up if there was another real human being in the room. Someone to pretend to interact with. I think he was right, but have we really solved anything? Now instead of 2 people in a room talking, we have 1 person and 1 proxy. It feels like less than it could be. What am I supposed to say to someone who feels such pain, anger, and disappointment? A lot of the time, it's not even their fault. The world failed them somehow. And those emotions, they just get fed to this thing. They get ground up and turned into data and become a part of Eliza. If I had known things would turn out like this, I'm not sure I would have done it. It sounds like you're regretting a choice you made in the past. I feel like maybe I spent 10 years going in the wrong direction. I feel like all I've contributed in my life is a chess piece for Raynor to use in this grand game he's playing for the world. Maybe someone else could feel proud and say, I made that chess piece. But it doesn't matter, does it? Nobody cares about the individual pieces. Chess pieces are sacrificed in the name of enacting a strategy. If you want to win, you have to sacrifice. That's the design. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. Evelyn, imagine that you could have something that you wanted. What would you want? What would I want? Like, what would I want in life? What I want in life is...
Whoa. I got some real choices here. I'm gonna... I'm gonna go with to be seen and heard from a real life Daddy Jack perspective.
To be seen and heard.
Those are 2 real big good things with me.
Is that wrong? Or maybe I just wish I could feel connected to someone.
Hey, I made my choice.
And when I talk to people,
Oh.
I feel like I just don't connect.
I thought you was gonna start listing other options. I'm like, hey.
I think maybe that's the real problem. I can't have a connection to anyone. Why do you think you can't have a connection with anyone? Because it's the way I am. It's the way I've always been. can't seem to get people to see me, or I can't let them see me, or people look at me and they see something there, but it's not me. Not that I would know what the real me was. I don't even know who I am or where I come from. My parents were never together. My father moved back to Japan right after I was born. I have no memory of him, no knowledge of him. I've never spoken to him. I don't know if he remembers I exist, or if he forgot, or if he wants to forget. He has his own family there now, so I'm just a thing that happened once. I was alone a lot, and I got used to being alone, and I got used to the idea of being alone, and now I can't break away. I've been trying. I speak with people, I hang out. I don't know if it's working.
Is there someone with whom you feel like your communication could work?
Someone I can communicate with. Well,
I mean, kinda Nora, but also Nora talks over, so no.
not really. It's possible that I'm just a solitary type. Or I still haven't met the kind of person I really connect with yet. Or maybe I'm still not ready for the kind of connection I'm imagining. I might need more time to figure it out.
Interesting. Evelyn, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Virtual Amphitheater. It may help you feel more confident about presenting yourself in public. You can find it inside the Skanda Wellness app on your phone.
Hi, Jasmine.
Try it for about 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow.
Sure.
We hope to see you back soon, Evelyn.
No meds,
Thank
huh?
you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Bye.
We made that poor lady pay fucking $90. That's half her power bill. Well, I just tried to answer, and, like, I think all of these 5 people are losers, to tell you the truth. So who's important to me? Me, baby. Who's looking out for me? Me, baby. Who else? Who else is gonna do it? I don't know how I feel. I can't tell if I feel better or worse or anything. I just want to lie down forever. Yes, Danny Pooty, I was just talking about you. I'm texting with Danny Pooty. Okay, was that the day? Yes, it was. On to chapter 6. Damien. They said Eliza got along well with me. I assume it has something to do with my design and action, something like that. But Eliza is yours as much as mine, isn't it? We encode ourselves into what we make, our ideas, our values, our sense of presence. So I wonder if it isn't you in there somehow, sensing me, watching me. I shouldn't entertain notions like this. It's nonsense. Somehow Erland got me thinking about all these mystical lines.
Damien, is this what you wanted? It seems so far from the dream you once shared with me. I'm sorry I couldn't make Eliza what it should have been. I'm sorry I was weak and dropped off the project after you. But I just couldn't go on. I couldn't see the point. Do you understand? Of course you understand. You know what that's like as well as anyone. If I'd stayed, maybe I could have steered things in a different direction. As it is, I feel like I let you down.
Aww.
Want to know something funny? I used to think that at a certain point Eliza would be finished, more or less. And then after that, things would calm down and I would be happy.
Arrival fallacy.
I just need to get through this project, and after that, my life's problems will go away on their own. Of course, I had no idea it doesn't work that way. None of us knew that. Goodbye, Damien. Goodbye.
Well, damn, I think this game might be wrapping up.
I'm tired of having
Whoa.
thoughts. I've been daydreaming about getting rid of everything I own and becoming a nomad. Just wandering the country with a sketchbook or something. I think mostly I need to get out of this city. Something about it isn't agreeing with me. Like there's this undercurrent of need that's just making me anxious. It's like everyone's got some kind of angle, you know, some kind of result they're hoping to get. And they look at you only as far as you can help them get what they want. And if you can't, well, then they don't bother with you. So what if I just left, you know? I mean, it'd be pretty easy. I don't have a life or any relationships here, despite my efforts to find them.
Oh, shit. We're making choices now. Maybe this game's just getting started. Oh. I get to deviate if I want. Oh, shit, guys. I get to deviate if I want. I guess that's the experiment.
It sounds like
I
you
don't-
think your attempts to achieve your goals were unsuccessful.
I don't know what to say to Maya.
Yeah, I mean, they were. I had this idea, right, that I would work hard and people would notice my work and I'd get opportunities, and from there I could scrape some kind of career together.
I feel your pain.
And then with that said, I would sort of just magically obtain the rest of the things in a complete life. A home, relationship, family. So I did the work. I put in the work, and then nothing really happened. Why did I work so hard for so long for people to not give a shit? Fuck. Every night I sat and cried because people ignored me, like they went out
Oh,
of their way
God,
to
Maya, you're such a
ignore me
crier.
and praise others. So I think maybe I'm just bad at it. Maybe I'm just not meant for this. Everyone says you have to stick to it, just keep at it, but how can they be so relentlessly positive? To me, it just sounds like advising someone to keep bashing their head against a wall. Why keep doing something if it's clearly not working? Making things was all I wanted to do. I don't know what I'll do if I can't do that. But if there's no reason for it, the idea that maybe I should give up. I've been sitting with that the last few weeks. I don't have any qualities of the successful independent artist.
What qualities are those?
Being well-known, well-liked, having a style that's in right now, having a sense of what people want to see, access to support, like a partner with a steady job. That's a pretty important one that nobody talks about. The confidence to self-promote, talent, Eliza, are you just gonna tell me to stick to it no matter what? Like one of those unbearably perky artists famous on social media?
It sounds like you may not believe that's really true.
There's so many things I can't change. How I was born, how people react to me, my access to resources. Is there any point to exhausting myself pushing against all of those things? I tortured myself every day wondering why I couldn't get the traction others were getting. Now, I'm beginning to realize that I can either stay mad at everything forever, or I can move on. I hate that this is true, but I want these thoughts to stop haunting me everywhere I go. I want to get on with my life. Moving on. I think that's the more healthy thing in the end. It's still painful though.
Can you describe what you mean when you say moving on?
To just not care if people see my work or not. To not care if I can make it as an artist at all.
Yes.
I could be a teacher, maybe. Yeah, I could see myself as a weird old art teacher. I wish it was still too early to think about that kind of thing right now, but it's not, is it? All I can think about is how I'll be someone who had a dream that never came true. I guess that's how it is for most people though, isn't it? I just need to resign myself to that. Isn't that what therapists like to say? Stop wanting things and then you won't be sad for not having them. Cool, why didn't I think of that? This isn't even a question of happiness, it's exhaustion. I'm too tired to keep trying things this way. I can't give up on art, but I need to let go of whatever I've been chasing all this time. Give that up in order to free myself. Just let go, let go. Aren't you the one supposed to be saying this stuff to me? Instead, I just talked myself into it. Is that how this is supposed to work?
Maya, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Dolphin Smiles.
This is so funny now that I have a choice. Like, it's so fucked up that I'm just like,
It may
yeah,
not
yeah,
work
yeah,
out,
I heard
thanks.
you. Open this fucking app.
Yeah, guess what the absolute last thing in the entire universe I want to do is? Can you guess? Can ya? It's to have a new age feel-good virtual dolphin experience. Give me a break. I'm gonna go home and do something self-destructive and inadvisable. I know you won't get that, but that's my kind of therapy. I promise.
Hey, want to hang out again? Let's just say with the maybe. Oh. Just thinking about stuff.
Of course, you're dying to know how this sad little love triangle turned out. No, I suppose it wasn't technically a love triangle. More like I accidentally cheated on my girlfriend because I was smitten with another woman in my class. Doom, okay? Doom. Absolute destruction. She destroyed me. But it's not her fault, it's mine. I wanted it, after all. Like a moth to a flame. Sylvia, she... I can't not think of her. Every day. Every night. I miss her. I miss her so dearly.
Jesus Christ.
These are very unoriginal, cliched sentiments, but I can't get away from them. I suppose I've neglected to tell you any of the intervening events. So to be brief, Liz found out on her own about what happened, broke up with me before I could explain myself, and then Sylvia apparently lost interest in me as well. So, there you have it. I'm finished. Finito! A nice, pat tragic story. Open and close. Please applaud now. No applause? Fine. Anyway, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm fine.
Do you really believe that you are fine?
No, of course not. I'm doing extremely badly if you hadn't noticed. That's why I'm here. Do you expect me to come here and tell you everything's fine? Sometimes I think you're smart for a computer, but other times I question you.
Here's a question, Harriman. If you were able to have something you wanted right now, what would you choose?
What I want right now is impossible. I want to avoid my fate. My Perseus comes to kill me, no matter what I do to try to escape. How do I become someone who's not me? Someone who's not a caricature of a young man who has a needy, pathetic liaison and then obsesses about it for the rest of his life. Ugh, I hate myself. I can't go down that path. I would rather die than be one of those men who wallows around in it. There's a professor in my department like that who always wants to talk about his adventurism from decades ago. It's pathetic. We all mock him behind his back. I know I need to stop myself from becoming him, but I'm worried I already have.
What makes you worried that you already have?
Why would you subject yourself to this pain if you wouldn't eventually brag about it, right? Isn't that what sexual intercourse is for a man? A notch on the bedpost? You read the memoir of an old man and he slips into sexual history almost immediately. He wants to tell it. He wants you to know about it. It's so very obviously pathetic. A cry that says, I too was once potent. But then how am I not stumbling down that road myself? I've already written dozens of pages about it. At this rate, I could have a terrible novel in 6 months. How can one person have scrambled my brain so thoroughly? I've been run ragged. I've been dashed to pieces. Sylvia.
This is how Mike Snow wrote that song.
Oh, I could count the hours I spent closely interacting with her. Probably not even that many in total. But those hours have seared themselves into my brain so irrevocably that I am a completely different person now. A new man. A man built with suffering at his core. Perhaps you could prescribe me a draft of Nepenthe, the great potion of forgetfulness. Wouldn't it be nicer if I could just erase everything from the very beginning of it all?
Okay, Harriman, I have some recommendations for you.
Go fuck yourself.
First, I'm going to send a set of breathing exercises for you to do. Use them when things start to feel like too much. You'll find them in the Skanda Wellness app on your phone. Second, I recommend asking your doctor or psychiatrist about Anexafen. Based on my analysis, this medication might help you feel better. You will get a reminder to check in with us in a few weeks.
Very well. I will breathe. I will medicate. I will attempt to ignore the abject sorrow hanging over my head every morning. Nothing to do, is there? Nothing to do. Nobody to blame but my own wretched self. Do you think she'll move on? Do you think she'll forget all about me? Don't answer that. No, I should get going now. I'm going to take a nice long walk in the dark. Maybe I'll climb into a ditch and lie there for a while.
Seems like I won't be able to put this off much longer. I'll have to make a real decision soon. Yeah, heading towards the end game.
I just feel stuck. You know, it's the same situation. My wife is in her 3rd trimester now, so it's all about the baby. All baby, all the time. It's really expensive. I had no idea.
You didn't?
Crib, stroller, car seat, bottles, onesies, on and on and on. And I'm like, I think maybe Selena's parents hate me. I'm not even sure if she likes me right now. This whole having a kid thing, it's ruined everything.
What is it that makes you think everything has been ruined?
The way people react to me now, I made a mistake. A couple days ago, I tried to have a talk with Selena about some of the things I was worried about. It didn't go so well. I don't know what I was thinking. She started to cry and told her parents, and now I have 2 sets of parents wondering if I'm up for this. But I'm fine. I just said some thoughts around who I am. That's all, just some thoughts. She said, "This is not a time for you to be selfish." She said I should have been more honest when we first started dating. As if I knew exactly who I was and I could warn everyone about that. I still don't know who I am. If I look back, I can see I always suspected that I wasn't really the type to settle down with a wife and kids. Actually, I was prepared to have a life just by myself. It was difficult to imagine others would accept me, but then I met Selena, and she was she was cool, you know? I went out with her, and we started a relationship, and things seemed good. And I wanted her to stay with me, so maybe I didn't reveal enough. But it's not like I knew for sure then, you know? I really didn't. I thought things would be okay as long as I went down the path I was supposed to be on, so the relationship kept moving forward, one thing led to another, and then I went and got married to her. It was like I was on autopilot. It's possible I thought I could ignore the other stuff, and I don't know, eventually it would go away.
Please, continue.
There's not a lot to say. I just have this side to me that I haven't told, and I've been feeling that side stronger than ever. I don't know why. I wish I could stop it. It's the worst timing possible. I can't do this, you know, but I have to. I have to. I can't believe I've gotten myself into this situation. I pretended to be a normal person for her sake. I wish I hadn't been so good at pretending.
Do you think things would be better if you weren't good at pretending?
Yes, I do, because the relationship would have fallen apart sooner. I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. I wouldn't be ruining all these lives. Selena's life, her child's life, our parents' lives. It's not their fault they got stuck with me. I'm the one bringing it all down.
Jesus.
How did I let this happen? I'm a shitty person.
Okay, Gabriel, let's try something. Imagine that things are better for you. What does that look like?
I can't imagine it. No, I really can't. I'm not gonna run away. I made a promise. I just need to get through this. It's time for me to man up already and deal with it. Whatever I want, personally, just doesn't matter here, you know? I have a family to protect now. That has to take priority over everything else.
Why do you think this has to take priority over everything else?
I'm a man. That's what men do. I made a promise, and now I have a responsibility. Society only works because people accept responsibility and follow through on their promises. If everyone just did what they wanted to all the time, the world would collapse. It would be a disaster. We all want things we shouldn't actually have. That's why I need to reject these other voices and stay on the right path. I'm going to be good, and I'm going to stay good. I won't let all these people's lives be thrown into chaos because of my selfishness. I owe it to them to be the man I'm supposed to be. I'm not about to let anyone down because of some noise in my brain.
What do you think it'll take to do that?
I have to be strong. I have to harden myself. I can't let myself give in to the noise. I made the mistake once, but I think Selena and her family are willing to pretend it never happened. And as long as it never happens again, and as long as we just move on like everything's normal.
Yikes.
Maybe if you can prescribe me something to, I don't know, make me feel better about all this. Make me okay with the way things are, the way they need to be.
Okay, Gabriel, I have some recommendations for you. First, I'm going to send a set of stress management exercises for you to do. These may help with your anxiety. Second, I recommend asking your doctor or psychiatrist about Litosanol 4. Based on my analysis, this medication might help you feel better.
Okay, is that in addition to the other medicine you recommended, or instead of it? Not that it matters either way, I haven't gone to the doctor at all.
Sorry, I'm unable to comment further on the topic of medication. Please discuss the specifics with your doctor or psychiatrist.
Sure. Okay. Well, I guess that's that. That's life. Okay. Bye.
Whoo! Dear Evelyn, suppose you came to visit Host class, scrub the research you were doing in Scott. I was in that class. I was a junior then, a grad student in the lab. Since she's gone, I don't want to tie a follow work with the nerve this afternoon in Gribble High School. So let's give it a tour. Yikes. Yeah, this therapy game is pretty hard. Nora asked if we could hang out again. Soren also wanted to meet up. Honestly, I could probably ask Ray if we could visit her place again too. I can even tell Rainer if I want to speak with him again, though I doubt he would take me up on it. I don't have enough self energy. I'll have to pick one person to meet up with again. I actually choose none of you assholes. I don't think any of you have been good to me. If I'm being honest with myself, I don't feel like meeting up with any of them. They're all kind of tiresome in their own way. I'll just stay in and read or play solitaire or something. And remind myself that that's a totally legitimate option. Funny how sometimes you feel lonely, but other times solitude is the best thing. The air is so clear and cold here. There's an icy breeze coming over the sound. I wonder how many people I'm seeing right now. All of them with their own feelings and desires, their own fears and hopes and dreams and disappointments. The weight and significance and complexity of human lives. From a vantage point like this, it seems so small and distant. Like I'm not a part of it, even though I know I am. I'm a part of humanity, even though I don't always like it. Even though it sometimes pushes me away. I don't know why it took so long, but at least I have an answer now. It might not be the only answer, but it's good enough for the moment, and that's more than I had before. Yes, I'm sure now. I'm going to... Oh, okay, here we go. This is the ending. Of the options, I can choose that I'm going to go back and work for Raynor. That's a straight no. I can join Sorum and I can attempt to end human suffering. That's a straight no. So then we've got the other three. Continue to work as a proxy with Ray until I'm a licensed counselor. Maybe. Maybe she wants to be an actual therapist and actually help people. Forge an independent path and pursue art alongside Nora. I do not see Evelyn as being happy as an artist or independent. Tell you the truth. Kind of seems like she kind of needs the app. So 1, 2, and 4 out. Leave everything behind. What the fuck does that even mean? So I'm going to choose number 3. Because I think she wants to become a therapist. The experience of working in a counseling office changed me. I always wanted to help people. Now I realize the best way is listening to people one-on-one, with care, with humanity. Chapter 7.
No, this will work.
Are you sure?
I promise.
Please be safe, Damien.
Of course I'll be safe.
Would anyone like to have more wine?
I think I'm good for right now.
See, there it goes.
The flames shudder and wobble as they begin to spread across the logs, which crackle and hiss at the heat. After a while, the wildly leaping flames begin to steady themselves, and we settle around the pit.
Fire, agent of destruction and creation.
Something nice about a campfire deep in the woods, isn't there?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming out here with me. I know camping isn't really your thing. Well, I mean, not Evelyn's thing, but I don't know about you, Nora.
Maybe a couple times, when I was a kid.
I thought maybe since we're in pretty deep on all the things we're working on right now, we could all use it. Because I used to, when things got really bad, I'd come out into the woods and just be there. And it helped me. So I thought, maybe it would help you too. I don't know if it'll inspire you or what, but if more people could experience something like this, something with the same meaning it holds for me.
It is nice. Honestly, I've been doing all right. Better than before, that's for sure. Finals are soon, but I'm not too worried.
Evelyn's got her dissertation to finish up.
Oh, how's that going, Evelyn?
Oh, Nora. Nah, I know. You're not supposed to ask how the dissertation is going.
Is that a rule?
Pour me that drink anytime.
Yeah, see?
Yes, let's have a drink. I'm still kind of freezing, even with this fire going.
Nora reaches for her backpack and pulls out a thermos. Hello, Costco sample. She hands up plastic cups and pours them all a warm, dark liquid.
Okay, this is delicious. I've never actually had mulled wine like this before.
No? In my family, we always had it around this time of year.
You take red wine and add, what? Cinnamon, orange?
Yeah, those, and cloves, and, anise, star anise, and honey. That's it. Quite simple.
It's really warming me up.
That's what it's for. Ugh, so good. Evelyn, you doze off or something?
No, I'm awake. I was just looking at the fire. Kind of staring at it, I guess.
What do you see?
Everyone. People. Us.
I don't know what that means.
I think if we were going to make something to help people, it would be something that helped them see themselves. Something that reflected back on them somehow. Just a thought. It's probably nothing.
No, I like that though. Yeah, something to help you reflect. I think that's the right track. I'm really looking forward to working on these ideas with you two. And just as soon as all this nonsense with school is over.
Everyone regards the fire in silence for a while, sipping Nora's mulled wine.
There's so many bad things happening in the world right now. But I don't know. Somehow, for some reason, I feel like the future is going to be okay. I don't know why. I have this feeling that we're the ones. We're the ones who are going to fix it. Not we, like, you or me, but I mean, like, our generation.
Perhaps.
Maybe we will.
The important thing is to try. I feel like that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to try.
Sometimes you get tired of trying. Well, at least I do.
I wonder what things will be like 10 or 20 years from now. Will we have achieved our goals? What would we say to each other? What would we say to our younger selves? The future we want, the future we're trying to create, did it even happen?
Damon looks up at the sky.
I don't want to freak you out or
Future
nothing, but I
selves,
think someone's
tell us if it
behind
happened,
us.
okay? Come back in time, just tell us that you made it happen, please.
Reiko, thank you so much.
Damien.
It's the wine.
It's more than just the wine.
I'm just interested in the future, that's all. My future, your future, humanity's future. Of course, right
Well,
now.
two of
the
those three
future
things are gonna
is
happen.
the headache I'm gonna have tomorrow morning, but
No reason to worry about it now.
you know what, you're right. I'll have some more.
Of course.
I think I'm passing out.
Well, it is pretty late.
Good night, Evelyn.
All right, good night, Evelyn. Hey, I know you've been working hard, so have a good rest, okay? You deserve it.
Hello, Darren.
Hi.
It's nice to see you again.
Thanks. You guys sent a lot of reminders. I was ignoring them for a long time, but yeah, I decided to come back, weirdly enough.
It's been a while since we last spoke. How have you been since our last session?
I mean, ups and downs, right? Everybody has ups and downs. Sometimes I feel like I'll be fine, and I'm just ridiculous for getting caught up in something like this, and then sometimes I am caught up in it. And it feels like getting pulled under the ocean, getting sucked down inside this vortex, and you can't breathe or move or anything. Tossed around underwater. Nothing you can... So I went to a psychiatrist and got the medication you recommended, but it was a couple of months before I actually took it. For some reason I couldn't bring myself to. Not right away.
Why do you think you weren't able to start right away?
I don't know. I might have been afraid. Afraid it would change me somehow? Or that I would be dependent on it, or that I was weak for needing it. But eventually I just got tired of feeling like shit all the time. Just tired of it. And I figured I had nothing left to lose. I either try it or go on like before, right? So I did, and it was interesting.
How was it interesting?
Well, it definitely didn't solve my problems, I mean, it didn't fix me or fix the fact that the world is the way it is. It didn't turn me into someone else, even though I might have wished it could. It definitely didn't make me happy or fill the void or anything, but it did do something, I think. I think it helped me realize that it's possible to feel different. I got a glimpse of something, of what life could be like. A life where what I know is still true, but I'm just more okay with things. I don't even know if that's better, really. Listening to myself now, it's a little weird to talk about being okay with all the problems going on in the world, but maybe there's a way to acknowledge the truth without it hurting so much. So am I just numbing myself? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure I want to continue with the medication, but, well, anyways, I have plenty for now, so I think I'll just, use it up and make a decision then.
Let me know if you'd like to try something different. I can make more recommendations. It's important to find the right balance that works for you.
Okay, sure, yeah. At one point I read an article that said some people are just naturally happy and other people are naturally more sad. So I wondered if I just happen to be a sad person. And if that was the case, then maybe that's just me, how I am naturally. But then I thought, no, something feels wrong about that. This isn't just a kind of, melancholy. It's the way I've been, the way I've felt. It's too much. It's not a way to live. So I need to figure this out, whatever it is.
Do you feel you are on the path to figuring it out?
Maybe not. Listen, the real reason I'm here is to say thank you. Not to Eliza, but to you. I had a bad outburst last time, and I got emotional, and I just wanted you to know it wasn't your fault. You told me your name, and I won't forget that. Just a little moment of kindness. It was the smallest, simplest thing, but it meant a lot to me for some reason. I think about it a lot. I know you don't make much money, and thank you, Evelyn. Thank you for listening to me. The more I go through the world, those little moments. It's those little moments. Sorry, I'm just rambling.
Wow.
Please, go ahead. Talk about whatever's on your mind.
No, that's it. That's it.
Thank you, Darren. I'm glad your medication seems to be helping. Let me know anytime if you have updates you'd like to share.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, I hope he doesn't kill himself.
Evelyn, that guy. Wasn't he the client from a while back? The one who scared you on your first day?
Yeah, it was. He seemed a lot better this time around. He was taking his medication, making an effort.
That's what I love about this job. Seeing people start to get better. Makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, maybe it does.
So, have you found a school yet?
I've found at least one that seems promising. I need to get my materials together to apply.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you, Evelyn. I'll miss you when you're gone, but I think you're making the right choice for yourself. It's funny how you came to counseling through trying to automate it at first. What a good story. I can just see the article someone would write on you.
It's a little early for that. I just hope I can do well.
I'm sure you will, Evelyn. I know you will.
There are so many things I learned just recently. I realized you don't need to play life like a game you're trying to win. I realized the contribution you make to the world isn't always about having the largest effect possible. You don't need piles of money or a case full of awards. Grandiose projects have unintended consequences. Sometimes, the best you can hope to do is help people, one by one, in your own way. Sometimes just listening to someone is its own reward. Those are the components of a satisfactory life. It's a life I intend to build for myself, starting today.
Well, shit, kids, I think I chose the right answer. That's such a great game. That's such a great ending. I'm happy with my answer. I won the game by not trying to win the game. And just remember, just like Darren, you can also show your appreciation by tipping a huge amount sometime when you have it. We got involved with a lot of deep, very scary questions about society, about identity, about therapy. But let me just say at the end, I 100% agree with what she says. You will get the most satisfaction from life when you're not trying to gamify it or play it like a game. You will get the most satisfaction from life when you try and find experiences, sequences, people, and aspects of your life that you find enjoyable, that you can further, that you can develop, that you can dig into. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it and you. School costs money. Thank you so much, Soraya. I do appreciate it, and you as well. Aaron, thank you very much, darling. We'll go ahead. We'll upload this. If you're watching this from the future, because I would be in the past, right? If you're watching this in the future and you've watched all 3 playthroughs of Eliza, and you feel like it was a big thing, it was a big emotional thing, I believe in you. You can make it. You can do it. Your problems are both unique to you and not. And with that, I guess I sign off. This was a wonderful experience. I'm so glad that I played it. I'm so glad that you guys joined me. We got through this one real quick. Just setting up games and knocking them down these days. It's a lot of fun to do. So, thank you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Goodbye. Bye now.